The Day in Tech History is sponsored by CashFly over at CACHEFLY.com, where you can host your podcast and get a 14-day free trial.
Jeffrey Powers here. I welcome you to the Day in Tech History, a full rundown of technology history 7 days a week. Subscribe to the show via iTunes, Stitcher, or download right from dayintechhistory.com. Now let's find out what happened on this day, your day in tech history.
November 10th, Day in Tech History. 1974, the discovery of the charmed quark subatomic particle is announced simultaneously by two American experimental groups responsible. In 1981, Panasonic introduces the Link handheld computer. It's a size of a small book with the keyboard but no display. It can be hooked up to a television or a host computer via telephone dial-up connection. $500 to $600. 1983, Activision lays off many of its staff due to the decrease in demand of the home video game machines and cartridges. Also in 1983, Fred Cohen, a doctoral student at the University of Southern California, presents the first documented virus, creating an experiment in a computer security to a security seminar. Others written about the potential for creating malicious programs, but Cohen was the first to create the actual working example. Also in 1983, in what would be considered as the most elaborate product introduction of the industry history, William Henry Gates of Microsoft formally announces Microsoft Windows for the IBM PC at the Helmsley Palace Hotel in New York City. In 1986, Atari exhibits a large booth at the entrance of Comdex in Las Vegas. The booth is staffed by Atari personnel and 65 third-party developers who share 40 demonstration stations. New products that were demonstrated included the $59 monitor box from JNL, a touchscreen system from VideoTouch, and a $99 SX212 1200 baud modem from Atari. The booth and their theme was Atari means business. In 1994, the Codex Leicester, which is a manuscript of scientific notes written by Leonardo da Vinci, is sold at auction. It's the last of da Vinci's 30 known journals, still privately owned, and sold to Bill Gates for $30.8 million. In 1997, Apple Computer introduces the Power Macintosh G3 computer, which featured a 233 or 266 MHz PowerPC 750 processor, a 66 MHz system bus, a 4 GB hard drive, 32 MB of SD RAM, 512 KB cache, that's a level 1 cache, and 24-speed CD-ROM. Price was $1,999. Also, Hewlett-Packard releases the HP 360LX handheld computer featuring the Hitachi 60 MHz SH3 processor, 8 MB of RAM, 10 MB of ROM, 640 by 240 pixel grayscale display, and Windows CE 2.0 operating system. $699. In the meantime, Hitachi announces the 200 MHz Super H SH4 processor. The unit would go in production in summer of the next year. $40 in quantities of 10,000. IBM announces the world's highest capacity desktop PC disk drive with a new breakthrough technology called Giant Magnestrasive, or GMR heads. Pioneered by scientists at IBM Research, GMR heads would be used in the new 16.8 gigabyte hard drive for the Desktop 16GP. One more thing, in 1997, on November 10th, WorldCom and MCI Communications announce a $37 billion merger, which is the largest merger in U.S. history. It would end on September 15th in 1998. The new company, MCI WorldCom, would open for business. Yahoo launches Yahoo Travel, and speaking of Yahoo, they also surpassed 25 million registered U.S. users in 1997. In 1998, Reuters news service reports that an Intel executive testified that Microsoft Corporation's Bill Gates threatened to withdraw from his company $500 million in computer chip technology unless Intel abandoned a pending software project. In 1999, the Compaq Computer Corporation unveils a computer targeted for corporate internet users called the iPac, $499. Also, the Japanese Fair Trade Commission raids 30 Sega of Japan facilities, including the company's headquarters in Tokyo. Later statements would say that the raids were focused on reports that Sega may have been involved in illegal price-fixing practices.
If you love the Day in Tech History, then I encourage you to join my Patreon movement over at patreon.com/geekazine. Your contribution keeps the lights on and more Day in Tech History episodes available. Pledge as little as $1 a month or $12 a year for 365 days of podcasts. Add to that all the content from geekazine.com, morninggeeks.com, and other shows that I produce. That's over at patreon.com/geekazine. Now let's get back into your Day in Tech History.
Back in 2000, the Federal Bureau of Investigation lures two Russians, Alexei Vladimirovich Ivanov and Vasily Gorshkov, to Seattle, Washington, for what is perpetrated to be a job interview with a shady tech firm. Just hours after landing at SeaTac Airport, Ivanov and Gorshkov were arrested and charged with conspiracy, computer fraud, hacking, and extortion. 2001, Apple ships the first iPod, and version 4.79 of the Netscape Communicator web browser is released. 2004, by the end of the first day after the initial public release of Firefox web browser, the application was downloaded over 1 million times. In 2006, the full genome of the California purple sea urchin was discovered and found to contain many novel genes, and the gene commonly found among vertebrates. If you want to see the full name, go over to the wiki notes in thedayintechhistory.com. And NASA spacecraft Cassini records a hurricane-like storm on the south pole of Saturn. It's the first time such an event had been observed on another planet. 2008, Circuit City files Chapter 11 protection and bankruptcy. AT&T debuts Video Crawler, which is a video search site. And Al Gore shows off a 5-step plan for a carbon-free world by 2019. 2009, 10 years before Al Gore's 5-step plan completes, it's discovered that hundreds of administer-less groups were being hijacked on Facebook by a group called Control Your Info. The group put out a statement, and they said that they only did this to show people how social media could get hacked. And also in 2009, Amazon debuted the Kindle for PC. 2010, Apple released the update to OS X, 10.6.5, which improved graphic drivers, OpenType font management, and networking issues. And Amazon pulled the ebook, The Pedophile's Guide to Love and Pleasure, after public outcry. And that's your Day in Tech History for November 10th. My name is Jeffrey Powers. www.dayintechhistory.com. Of course, all the show notes are over on the wiki page. And then, of course, if you go over to Twitter and follow Day in Tech Hist, you'll know when the next episode is ready to go, which is about 24 hours from now, depending on when you're listening, of course. So, my name is Jeffrey Powers, and thanks a lot for listening. We will see you tomorrow. Take care. And that's your Day in Tech History. My name is Jeffrey Powers, www.dayintechhistory.com. All the show notes are over at wikizine.com, Geekazine's wiki. And of course, you can like the Facebook page and follow Twitter at Day in Tech Hist. Until tomorrow, take care. Day in Tech History is copyright 2015, JMP Enterprise and Geekazine.com.